Hi there, welcome to live stream Yoga with Louise, tips and cues to keep you safe and strong on the mat. Today's yoga practice is all about cultivating an inner awareness. We're going to be focusing on the third eye, the Ajna chakra, situated between the two eyebrows, your seat of consciousness. I want you to allow yourself to be a little bit inward focused and introspective in your practice today. As always, play where you're comfortable, modify where you need to, and feel comfortable to ease your way into child pose at any time during the class, should you need a little time out. You ready to play? Let's hit the mat. We're going to set up for today's class, situated more or less in the middle of the mat, and you're going to ease your way into a kneeling frame, preferably into Thunderbolt, with the knees together, the feet together, and then cross one foot over the other so that when you sit back into Thunderbolt and your bum connects to your heels, it feels almost just a little bit uncomfortable. Oftentimes, inward reflective and being introspective is not always the most comfortable of things. So I want you to be just a little bit uncomfortable when you come to your seat today. You're going to take the heel of one palm and you're going to place it over your third eye. Overlay the other palm on top of the first hand. Close your eyes, take your focus inward, and start focusing on that third eye energy center. Gently pulsing with the heel of your hand into that third eye, almost trying to mimic the beating of your heart. Allow your breathing to be soft and even, inhaling and exhaling through the nose exclusively if you can. Being quiet and introspective here for a moment and starting to wake up your third eye. Almost visualize that third eye between the two eyebrows, looking in on yourself as you gently pulse into that energy center. Then slowly unfold the hands, place them soft and relaxed on the top of your thighs, flutter open your eyelids, and change the cross of your legs. Sitting back once more into Thunderbolt, bring your hands into a little lotus bloom by bringing the thumb tips and the pinky tips together and allowing the rest of your fingers to splay open so that your hands resemble a little lotus bloom. On a big inhale, float your lotus bloom overhead, almost as if you were giving thanks. And then on an exhale, close the hands into active prayer, pushing into the palms and bringing them all the way down to stop just in front of your heart center. You're going to use that movement dynamically, floating overhead in lotus on the inhale, and then exhaling to come down in active prayer. Close your eyes once more. Start focusing on that third eye energy center. Almost see it burning a hole into your forehead, branding you with inner consciousness for the remainder of the day. Allow your breathing to be soft and relaxed. Try not to tense through the chest or the shoulders as we start waking up the energy in the upper energy centers, beginning at the heart center, your Anahata chakra, flowing through your throat center, your Vishuddhi chakra, bleeding through the third eye, the Ajna chakra, taking it all the way to your crown chakra, the Sahasrara chakra. Next time you come down in active prayer, gently flutter open your eyelids, uncross your legs, and allow the feet to stay together towards the midline of the body as you float the knees open a little bit wider and situate your bum cheeks down on your heels and just gently wiggle around so that you can feel those heels digging in to your bum. Then come off that slightly uncomfortable seat by opening your knees a little bit wider, wriggling your feet and your bum so that the feet slide out from underneath you, setting up a little tadpole line, preferably with your bum bones connected to the mat, knees softly splayed out. Reach your fingertips for your shins and then pull your shin bones up to the ceiling while dropping your center of gravity down through the bum bones as if you were trying to anchor your bum bones into the floor, and just enjoy that beautiful stretch, looking straight out in front of you as if you were using your third eye and projecting it to the wall in front of you. Then gently let go of the shins. We're going to ease our way into child pose. If you find that the knees are too wide for you, you can bring them in slightly. You're going to extend the arms long and lengthened in front of you and connect your forehead to the mat, trying to press gently on that third eye that we activated right in the beginning of the class. You're going to rock your weight off your third eye to the right and come to rest on your right temple. Pausing here. Closing your eyes, taking your focus inward. Rock back onto the third eye. Pausing there for a beat before you rock onto the left temple. Do that one more time gently. Pausing at the third eye before you rock right onto the right temple. Easing your way back to the third eye. And then rolling onto the left temple. Ease your way back to center. Think of coming through a rough 4-point kneeling position. Float the two knees closer together and then place the hands on the floor behind you and see if you can lift both knees up off the floor, stretching the toes and the bridges of your feet. Then ease your way into a 4-point kneeling frame, giving me a straight tabletop line through the back. Exhale to round out in cat, pausing for a little stretch into the lower back and the shoulder blades, hollowing out through your belly. Come into a neutral tabletop line. And on the inhale, give me a concave shape, coming into cow, taking your chin and your bum bones to the ceiling. Draw yourself back into your tabletop position and focus on your left knee. Tuck your left knee in as if you wanted to round out and tap it towards your nose and hold that contraction. Thinking knee to nose, nice little tight contraction through the core, almost rounding out in cat. Ease your way back to a neutral tabletop line, making your line slightly different with the knees together and the feet together. Sit back on your heels in Thunderbolt. Sweep or slide the hands behind you, lifting your knees up off the floor, stretching into the tops of your feet, bracing softly into little spider fingertips. Come back into your narrow tabletop line with the knees and the feet together along the midline of the body. Find a neutral tabletop line. Exhale to round out in your modified cat. Find a neutral tabletop line. Reverse the shape and come into cow, opening up through your chest center. Find your way back into table, long and lengthened through the spine, and focus on your right knee. As you round out, think of drawing the knee in towards your third eye and pause. Peel your way back into your narrow 4-point kneel. Sit back into Thunderbolt. Sweep the hands behind you, pushing off your fingertips to lift your knees up off the floor and holding the stretch for a beat or two. Come back into your narrow 4-point kneel. Lengthen through the spine, push the mat away, long and lengthened. Exhale to round out in cat. Come back to a neutral tabletop line and then change the shape, taking your chin and bum bones to the ceiling as you find cow. Ease your way back into a neutral tabletop line, strong and long through the spine. Take a big breath in, and on an exhale, think knee to third eye on the left, holding that contraction. Ease your way back into a narrow thunderbolt, sitting back to sweep the hands behind you. Push off your fingertips and lift the knees up off the floor one last time. Ease your way back into your narrow table, long and lengthen through the spine. Exhale to round up. Inhale, find neutral. And then change the shape of your back, morphing into cow before you find your tabletop line. Focus on your right knee. As you round out, think knee to third eye and hold that contraction. Ease your way back into a neutral tabletop line and then peel your way up into a high kneeling frame on the mat. If your knees are sensitive, you can maybe roll your mat double or place a little bit of padding underneath the knees. You're going to open up your hands into a little cactus shape or a goddess shape. And you're going to focus on the area between your two shoulder blades. I want you to draw the two shoulder blades together as if you were cracking a walnut and then come back to your start position. Just play with that movement dynamically. Situating yourself up nice and tall in your kneeling frame, so shoulders over hips, hips over knees. Keep drawing up softly along the inner thighs and pulling up gently from your pubic bone towards your belly button line. One more time. Then float the left elbow out in front of you and overlay the right elbow into the left, tucking into a little eagle bind with your hands in a soft prayer-like position. Take your focus to your third eye and look through the third eye, through your intertwined hands and arms to the wall in front of you. Then hold that eagle bind, that Garudasana bind, as you gently lift and lower your fingertips as if you were trying to tap the ceiling and coming back to your original start position. Try to start with the two elbows almost in line with your shoulders and then just gently peel up towards the ceiling and come back. Let's do two more. Come to stillness, unbind your hands, drop them long and lengthened at your side, and just give me a little shrug and a release into the shoulders, giving me a few shrugs forward and then a few backwards. Ease your way back into your little cactus or goddess frame and crack that walnut between the two shoulder blades, keeping that high kneeling frame, thinking of softly drawing up along the inner thighs and lengthening through the lower belly area. Find your cactus and float the right arm in front. Overlay the left arm inside of the right, intertwine your palms in a modified prayer, and then start playing with that little lift and lower of your elbows, almost as if you were trying to tap your fingertips to the ceiling, and then come back to your start position. Focus on the third eye. Look through your intertwined forearms to the wall in front of you, almost as if you were trying to project your third eye onto the wall, seeing right through your arms. X-ray vision. Slowly unintertwine. Drop the arms long and lengthened at your side and give me that little shrug and release into your shoulders. You're going to find your way back into 4-point kneeling. This time a traditional 4-point kneeling stance, so with your knee points underneath your hip bones and your hands underneath your shoulders, with your belly button softly pulled in and your spine as long and lengthened as you can manage. Keep your gaze down on the mat, just between your two hands, so that you don't drop the head and collapse your frame. Keep your frame nice and long. We're going to play with a dynamic bird dog on the right. On a long inhale, you're going to float the left leg and the right arm into extension. Pausing here for a beat and giving me a long line between the arm, the neck, the back, and the leg. Then start moving dynamically, bringing the elbow and the knee in towards the center line and opening back out. Keep projecting your third eye onto the mat in front of you, as if you were burning that impression into the mat. Come back into extension. Stay or play by bending the back leg, reaching back with the opposite hand for the bridge of your foot, squaring up through your shoulders and your hips, and kicking the foot back into the hand as you slowly change your third eye projection to the wall in front of you. Hold that stretch, Vyagrasana. Then kick it back from here into child, arms long and lengthened in front as you take a little stretch. Finding that connection once more to the third eye as you gently fold into child pose, Balasana. Ease your way back into 4-point kneel. And then find your little alternate arm and leg line on the opposite side. Left arm, right leg coming into extension. Keep looking down to the mat in front of you, projecting your third eye image right down in front of you. Give me a long line through the arm, the neck, the back, and the leg. And then when you're ready, begin moving in your dynamic bird dog, bending the elbow and the knee in towards the center and then extending out. The whole time, keep burning that third eye image into the mat. Keep your belly button softly pulled into center and your neckline and your spine as long as you can manage. Come back into extension and hold that stretch, trying to tap the wall in front of you and the wall behind you with your fingertips and your toes, respectively. Stay or play. Bend your floating back leg, reach opposite hand to foot, square up through the hips and the shoulders, and then kick the foot into your hand. Think dancer as you gently project your third eye image onto the wall in front of you. Enjoying that stretch into the quad and the hip flexor. Ease your way back into child and just take a nice extended stretch here, connecting your third eye to the mat and pushing softly on that pressure point on your forehead. Keep your breathing long and relaxed. No short, choppy breaths. Take your focus inward. Allow for some quiet introspection. Ease your way back into a 4-point kneeling frame. Tuck your toes under. We're coming into a relaxed dog. Begin by pushing off your hands and hovering your knees off the floor. Then push the weight back into your bum, almost as if you were trying to bring your knees closer to your chest, and hold that stretch. Then morph into a full down dog, floating your bum up to the ceiling. Bend your right leg, extend the left, and hold the stretch there. Then change sides. Extending the right leg and bending the left and holding the stretch. Think slow motion, doggy pedal. Cycle through, holding that stretch, trying to get the heel of the extended leg to meet the mat if your body is willing and able. Keep playing with that slow, mindful pedal. Ease your way into a full down dog, extending both legs, trying to connect as much of the heel to the floor as you can, almost allowing the head to come through the hands as if you wanted to tap your nose or your third eye to your knees. Crown is nice and heavy and the bum is piped up to the ceiling. Hold your down dog stretch, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Then ease your way back into your relaxed dog, bending the knees, hovering them off the floor and pushing the weight back into your bum. Getting a nice little stretch into the shoulders. Hold your stretch. You're going to use this relaxed down dog frame to either step or hop towards your hands, maybe coming onto the tips of your fingers as you hop forward. You're going to give me a soft forward fold, and you're just going to simply ragdoll style sway side to side, bending the knees as you need to, and just give me a relaxed, soft forward fold. Then come to stillness along the midline, bend the knees, ragdoll style peel up, and float your hands into a modified prayer by bringing the palms together and overlaying one thumb over the other. Stand up nice and tall and begin heel toeing your feet in, connecting your big toes and your ankles and coming into a narrow mountain Tadasana. Take a big breath in, and as you inhale, float your hands, actively pushing into the palms overhead, into a little Hastasana pierce, thinking of piercing the ceiling with your fingertips as you frame your ears on either side. On an exhale, float back down in active prayer, pushing into the palms and stopping just in front of your heart center. Close your eyes, take your focus inward as you play with that movement dynamically, almost making it a soft meditation. As you close your eyes and take your focus inward, start visualizing your third eye, projecting it to the wall in front of you. Keep your breathing long and lengthened. And allow almost a sense of peace and calmness to just envelop your whole body. Stop with your prayer hands in front of your heart. Pausing here for a beat with your eyes still closed. And then when you're ready, gently flutter open the eyelids and bring your hands back into that little cactus frame that we played with from a kneeling position earlier on. You're going to float the left elbow in front of you and overlay the right arm into it, coming into your little eagle bind. You're going to bump the weight back into your bum, into a chair-like position. Check that your knees are not tracking over your toes. And you're just going to gently lift and lower your fingertips towards the ceiling, keeping the weight bump back into your bum and your heels so that you can feel your glutes and your hamstrings and your quads. Then float back up into the standing frame. You can unbind and shake out the arms if you need to. Keep the bind if you can. Either rinsing and repeating or coming into full eagle by taking your right leg and overlaying it over the left as if you were sitting cross-legged on the couch, either just keeping the bind loose or taking your right toes and tucking them behind the left calf. Sit back into your imaginary chair, either holding the frame or tapping your bottom elbow towards your knee, almost rounding out into a cat-like stretch, and then unbinding and playing with that movement dynamically, focusing on your third eye the whole time that you're playing. Hold that contraction. Unwrap your feet. Use your right toes on the mat if you need to extend out into a warrior three-like stance, keeping your eagle bind and keep piercing the wall in front of you. Then unbind the hands and sweep them behind you to come back to a standing frame. Wiggle your legs up and find that narrow mountain frame on the mat. Come back into your little cactus frame. Bring the right arm in front of you. Overlay the left hand into the right and find your eagle bind. Play with that gentle lift and lowering as if you wanted to tap the fingertips to the ceiling and then come back to your start position. Then come to stillness with your elbows parallel to the floor and bump the weight back into your heels. Playing once more with that little lift and lower through the arms as you find your seat, Utkatasana. Float back up into a standing frame and find your full eagle on the left. Crossing the left leg over the right to tuck behind if you can. When you're steady, start sitting back into your chair and tap the elbow to your knee, focusing on your third eye as you maybe begin playing with that movement dynamically. Taking your focus inward, being introspective in your practice today. And maybe unbinding, using the left toes if you need to find purchase on the mat first, sliding the leg behind you to come into your warrior 3 bind, keeping your eagle bind through the hands. When you're ready, unbind, sweep or swim the arms behind you. Then step both feet together, place your hands on the mat and step back into a plank line, or you can drop into 4-point kneel if you need a little bit of an assist. We're going to chaturanga down onto the belly. Bend your elbows, hug them in towards your ribs, and try to hover your third eye and your chin just off the floor for a second. Before you release to the belly, legs long and lengthened, we're going to set up a cobra line. Relax your forehead to the mat, pressing gently into the third eye. We're going to play with our cobra dynamically. Keep your elbows tucked into the center line and your legs long and relaxed and parallel. Roll off your third eye, peeling up one rib at a time, stopping in a baby cobra line with the bottom rib just softly connected to the mat, and then peel back down. You're going to use that movement dynamically. Every time you retuck an imaginary marble underneath your nose, you press your third eye gently into the mat before rolling back up into your baby cobra, Bhujangasana. Anytime you come into the cobra line, trying to lengthen from the mid-back towards the nape of your neck and use your back strength to hold the frame, relying less on your glutes and more on your back strength. Keep the elbows softly tucked into center as you play. For your last cobra, you're going to hold, either staying in baby with your bottom rib connected, or extending through the arms but not locking them out, and just softening through the elbows and the shoulders and holding your little cobra stretch. Peel back down to the mat. Slide the hands back further so that they're alongside your bosom. Tuck your toes under, keeping your knees on the floor if you need support, or hovering the knees off the floor as you push into the palms and your toes to come up negatively into a push-up, into a plank line. Ease your way into a down dog frame and hold the stretch. Soften the right leg, swing it through so that the leg stacks just in front of your right hand. If the foot gets stuck on the mat, just gently corral it, bring it forward, relax the back knee, relax the back foot. Or you can keep the toes tucked under if you prefer. You're going to peel up into a modified crescent lunge, bringing your hands into Jupiter Mudra by interlacing your fingers, bringing the index fingers together and crossing the thumb. Project your third eye to the wall in front of you and find your crescent lunge. Then see if you can bring the back knee off the floor. Push back into the back heel. and start rocking your body weight back and forward. Either staying here in Jupiter or taking your right arm and beginning to trace a big circular pattern while you keep extending through the left fingertips as if you were reaching for that third eye projection on the wall in front of you. Then change your orientation on the mat and open up into a wide standing straddle. Your back line in table, your fingertips in a long T-like frame, reaching with your fingertips for the walls at opposite ends of the room, and check that your feet are squared up with the weight bearing, wrapping from your big toe around the little toe towards your heel. Then pivot to the left. Relax your back, knee, and shin on the mat and set up your Jupiter line on side 2, reaching with your index fingers for that third eye projection on the wall in front of you. Tuck your back toe under, bring the knee up off the floor, and gently begin swaying the weight back and forth into the heel and the toe of the back foot. Stay or begin playing dynamically, sweeping your left arm in big circular motions while you reach long and lengthen through your right fingertips. Come to stillness, pushing back into the back heel. Come back into Prasarita Padottanasana, your wide-legged standing straddle, maybe trying to wiggle the feet just a little bit further apart this time as you come into position. Hold. Think of projecting your third eye gently down onto the mat in front of you. We're going to change our orientation on the mat, and you can bring your fingertips gently to the mat if you need to swivel gently to face the front end of your mat. Ease your way back into a plank line. Feet just inside of hip width distance apart for this plank, and your body is nice and strong. We're going to play with the plank line dynamically. You're going to bend the knees, think relaxed dog, but allow the knees to splay out in a butterfly or a frog-like line, and then swim back to your start position. So knees flare out. So you're coming into an almost frog-like down dog, relaxed down dog hybrid with your plank. Playing with the movement dynamically. And then sit back onto the heels, coming into a narrow tadpole this time. So think thunderbolt, but the knees are softly splayed out with your heels gently digging into those little tension spots in your bottom. You can maybe surreptitiously reach for your shin bone and just pull the shin bone in towards your bum bone, feeling that little pressure point. Sitting up nice and tall and projecting your third eye to the wall in front of you. You may be gently placing your fingertips on the mat behind you, squeezing the two shoulder blades together, expanding laterally through your chest, and making your bum heavy into your heels so that you're constantly aware of that little pressure point that you're pushing into. Keep projecting that third eye image onto the wall in front of you. If it helps, close your eyes and take your focus inward. Ease your way from here back into child pose with the arms long and lengthened on the mat in front of you. Find that pressure point on the third eye and just make your arms soft and relaxed. So you're almost draping the elbows and the forearms on the mat so that there's no tension in the shoulders. Rock your weight onto the right temple and pause, closing your eyes and taking your focus inward. Visualizing that third eye as you rock back onto it. Then rock gently onto your left temple and pause. Let's do that one more time, side to side, being totally aware of moving through the third eye energy center as you play. Ease your way back to center. Come through 4-point kneeling and work a modified kneeling chaturanga to come down onto the belly. Bend your elbows, hug them in towards the ribs, and come down uber slowly, trying to load through the arms, and see if you can hover your chin off the floor for a few beats, projecting your third eye to the mat in front of you. Then softly ease your way to the belly. Legs are long and relaxed in parallel behind you. We're going to play with a little shoulder opening sequence, focusing on that third eye connection as we play. Open up the arms into a T frame and connect your third eye to the mat. Bend your left elbow and place your left palm or your fingertips alongside your left chest. Push off the left palm while you rock your weight into the right hand, rolling onto your right temple and almost softly stopping just before your feet are knife-edged. Pause here, making your right shoulder nice and heavy into the mat. Inhale to come back onto the third eye and open up your arms into T. We're going to repeat on the other side. Bend your right elbow, place your fingertips alongside your chest. Push off your fingertips, rolling the weight off your third eye onto your left temple, rolling almost onto the left hip, knife edging the feet. You can bring the head slightly off the mat and peek down towards your feet if you need to. Then roll back onto the third eye and come back to your original position. We'll layer this exercise. Bend the left elbow, place the fingertips alongside your bosom, rock off the third eye onto your right temple, maybe bringing the head up off the mat. Bring the right leg up and step it behind your left leg, firmly planting that foot into the mat and getting even more stretch into the shoulder. Rock back onto your third eye as you come back into your original T position. To repeat on the other side, bend the right arm, place the fingertips alongside your chest, push off the fingertips, roll off your third eye, bend the left leg, firmly plant it behind your extended other leg. Pausing here. Come back into your original position on the third eye with your arms softly in T. Let's add to it. Bend the left arm, place the palm alongside your bosom, rock off your third eye onto the right temple, then lift the head off the mat, look towards your left foot, bend the leg, tuck it behind your extended right leg, then bend the right leg and firmly try to plant both heels into the mat while allowing that right shoulder to become heavy into the mat. Extend the legs back out and rock back onto your third eye. Then the right arm, place the fingertips alongside your bosom, rock off the third eye onto your left temple, lift the head off the mat, step both feet up, firmly planting them into the mat and allowing your left shoulder blade to be nice and heavy into the mat. Extend back out into your T frame, finding your way back onto the third eye. One last iteration. Bend the left arm, place the fingertips alongside your chest, rock off your third eye onto your right temple, peeling the head up off the mat, bend both legs, grounding both feet into the mat, and then if you can, bring the left fingertips off the mat and push on the inside of the closest knees if you were trying to push away. Project your third eye softly to the wall at the opposite end of the room. And then bring yourself back to the mat, reconnecting your third eye to the mat to repeat the sequence on side 2. Bending the right arm, placing the fingertips alongside your bosom, rock off your forehead onto your temple. Bring the head up off the mat, look down towards your feet, bending both knees, connecting the soles of both feet to the mat. Then bringing your right hand off and pushing with your palm against the closest knee. Ease your way gently back to the mat. Find your third eye connection and just soften and relax your whole body while activating into the third eye. From here, you've got a choice. You can either roll over onto your back and come into Shavasana, corpse pose, or you can peel back up into Thunderbolt. We're going to end off with a little bit of breath work. Pick your poison, either rolling onto the back or pushing up into your original seated frame with the knees together and the feet together. Maybe this time just sitting back onto both heels, or you can cross the feet one more time if you like. You can keep your current orientation on the mat. I'm going to give you a front view. Sitting up nice and tall on the mat, you're going to just relax your palms into your lap. Take your right hand, taking the middle and the index finger and placing them on that little pressure point of the third eye between the two eyebrows. With your thumb, you're going to open and close the right nostril, and with your ring finger, you're going to control the opening and the closing of your left finger. So find your third eye pressure point. With your thumb, close your right nostril and take a big inhale through the left nostril. Then close the left nostril, open and exhale through the right. Inhale through the right, close it, open and exhale through the left. Close your eyes, take your focus inward to the third eye and start finding a comfortable inhalation to exhalation ratio of 1 to 2. So if you're inhaling for 3, you're going to exhale for 6. If you're inhaling for 4, you're going to exhale for 8. Maybe you're working at 5 to 10 or 6 to 12, but at no stage should you be straining on the inhale or the exhale. If you're new to this breath work, Anulom Vilom, stay here. If you're pregnant, stay here. Alternatively, you're going to be adding in a little chin lock. The next time you inhale, let's say for 3 counts, close that nostril and then nod your chin to your chest, retaining your breath for 6 seconds. Then release the chin lock and open and exhale for 6 out the other nostril. Inhale once again. Close that nostril. Nod your chin to your chest, retaining the breath. Release the chin lock and open and exhale through the other nostril, working at a 1 to 2 to 2 inhalation to retention to exhalation ratio. Keep pushing softly into that pressure point of the third eye as you find a steady breathing rhythm of your own, trying to even out the energy systems in your body, trying to achieve perfect harmony between your sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system. Every time you inhale right, connect to your Pingala or sun breath, the male energy, heating and invigorating. Every time you inhale left, connect to your cooling, calming, feminine Ida or moon breath. Taking your focus totally inward, using the breath to find that inward connection, and keep that soft pressure point on your third eye with the index and the middle finger. Activating your seat of consciousness, your Anya chakra, for the remainder of your day. When you've taken your last breath cycle, Drop both hands into your lap, keeping the eyes softly closed, but your awareness totally centered around the third eye as you take a couple of gentle recovery breaths, gently inhaling and exhaling through both nostrils simultaneously. Keeping the shoulders softly dropped away from your ears, give me a little tilt of the pubic bone to the 12 o'clock position and find that soft connection to your belly. Then float your hands into a gentle prayer in front of your heart, keeping that focus inward and your eyes gently closed. And end off your practice today by tapping both index fingers to your third eye and whispering the words Shanti, peace. Thank you so much for coming out and playing with me today. Hope you enjoyed today's class. Give me a thumbs up if you did enjoy. Remember to shoot me your comments and your feedback. Use the display or reach out to me on social media or via WhatsApp. And remember to subscribe with your notifications on. I shall see you all for Pilates on the mat tomorrow. Till then, keep it light.